Morning, folks. Interesting day today. I'm afraid some of today's headlines is going to break David's heart, but we'll get there. Let's get Facebook on board. Well, let's have a look. Yep, let's get that sorted out. Anyway, folks, good morning. How are we all today? I hope we're all feeling good. Friday, end of the week. Should be a good day, should it? Depends on your point of view. But the first headline that I'm going to bring up today, isn't he going to go doing well with the other Davy? But we'll get into that in a wee second. We're up early. 50 mark, so let's get this broadcast underway. It's Indy Truck Davy out the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it's a cold, crisp, clear morning. But I just say it's cold. -2 at the moment. But no doubt that'll change rapidly as it is quite sunny. Okay, so let's get into it, shall we? The first headline of the day is going to break David Milligan's heart. But all of you who watch the Two Davies as well as watching me will understand why every time we go on to this subject, I was erring with caution. When it first came to light, well, let's get the headline up and let you see it first. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Humiliation for Flynn as he bins his two-job bid. Nationalist MP leadership ambition takes a hit as he's forced to admit, hands up, I've got this one wrong. Okay. Now, this isn't a surprise to me, folks, as we've been reporting on Flynn looking for two jobs. The other Davy are looking to take a position at Holyrood as well as Westminster. The other Davy was brimming with enthusiasm, but I was explaining the hurdles that stood in his way. But it was bigger. The picture is bigger than what David recognises. This Davy has got a long memory. And this Davy understands that the way the SNP are set up since Alex Hammond and devolution is that lot down that road are a secondary thought. They're not even on the leadership tier in the SNP. And after Stephen Flynn and Mary Black's hostile takeover of the party in Westminster, there was always going to be pushback here. So I pointed out the rules would need to be changed. And David, I'll vote for it. And I pointed out I had to make it onto the agenda for conference. Then I pointed out that it had to get round Audrey and convince her to step down. And I did say they'd sort it out between them. Well, they have. Audrey's no moving aside. But the other thing Stephen didn't understand was, yep, it's one party, but those people down in Westminster are irrelevant to the hierarchy of our parliament, of our party. It's been set up so that our leadership is based in Edinburgh. And that leadership's not ready to move out the road. And that's why I explained all the hurdles. And when David was talking yesterday about Flynn coming up the road and crashing doors and shit like that, I was like, no, I don't think so. He might make it up that road. He might. But he'll not be crashing any fucking doors in. And that's because I understand the party structure. And those MPs, even when there was 56 of them, doing that road in the House of Commons, meant nothing as far as the leadership and guidance of this party goes. That's embedded in Edinburgh, and it would appear that these people are not ready to move out the road. That gave him an unsurmountable challenge. So the leadership in Edinburgh, who are in control of the party, don't get this right. Those MPs in Westminster are a secondary to your party. Our power base is in Edinburgh because we want to show the people of Scotland that we run Scotland and run it better than that shower of shite in England ever could. And that's no disrespect to English people, that's just where that parliament is. What made Stephen think he could just announce that he was going to come up the road and no get pushback? The party structure is set up in such a way, after Alex Salmond, that you could not be an MSP and an MP. There's a reason for that. Now, I said at this point in time when devolution's under attack, it wouldn't be a bad idea to change that rule. And have a couple of MPs, MSPs straddling both houses. I still think that's the right idea. But what made Flynn think that he was going to challenge the leadership in Edinburgh the way he challenged the leadership in Westminster? He had fucking no chance. None! And that's why when they're all enthusing about Stephen Flynn coming up that road, I was saying, not quite sure, mate. Go to change the rules, go to get the sitting MSP to move out the road, go to get the party leadership to back it, to get it onto the platform at a conference to change the rules. So it would appear the party's dealt Flynn, shut up, you little backbencher, and get back in your fucking seat. So much for Davies the hitman and crashing in fucking doors. Party structures matter. And the way your party's set up is that shower of shite, that shite hole down that road, the House of Thieves and Carpetbaggers, that's our secondary base. That's no our power base. Our power base is in Scotland. And our leadership is in Edinburgh. It's no in Westminster. His title as a Westminster leader means about as much in our party as a bad smell after somebody's had a dose of the runs come out your bathroom. That's how much these MPs mean to us as a party. England and Westminster isn't our business. Edinburgh and Scotland is our fucking business. It's our power base, and it's how we intend to project to the people of Scotland that we are the best people to run Scotland. Not the SNP, but the Scottish people. We are only giving effective, efficient administration. The point of that effective, efficient administration, where better social contract and everything else, is to prove to the people of Scotland we make better decisions here in Scotland than they do in Westminster. So what made Flynn believe that he had any clout in this party? Or the other 11 or 12 of them that are left doing that fucking road, I have absolutely no idea. Our power base is in Scotland. Our parliament's in Scotland. Our leadership's in Scotland. And Flynn might have given away his hostile takeover in Westminster with Mary Black, ousting Ian Black. Might have given away with that down there. Do you know why? Because the power base here and the hierarchy here couldn't give a fuck. But backbenching in Westminster means fuck all when the SNP's frontline politics is going on in Holyrood. And to think he could get away with the same hostile takeover up here as he got away with down there was just fucking lunacy. And that's why I'll be keeping it tight on this one. So when everybody's enthusing about him coming up here and taking this party over and driving us forward, Davies been the guy saying, hold the bus folks, there's rules. There's also people who be convinced and people who overcome. And well, it looks like Flynn's just hit it. Looks like Flynn's just hit it. And he's just been taught a powerful lesson. And that is, the SNP's power base is in Scotland and it's in Edinburgh, and that's where our leadership is. And his pretended title down that road as leader in Westminster means absolutely fuck all in this party. Nothing. Since devolution, Alex set it up so that our power base was in Edinburgh. Our hierarchy is in Edinburgh. Westminster is a secondary thought. Would I like to see Stephen straddle both the parliaments? I'd like to see him, Gethins, and Duggan straddle. As I say, at this point in time when devolution's under attack, we need a wee bit more cooperation between our MPs and MSPs. Because remember, at this point in time, our MPs are totally fucking ignored. They're backbenchers in another parliament 475 fucking miles away. They're irrelevant to your party leadership. Absolutely irrelevant. The mainstream media might big up that place down the road as being the powerhouse. Not for the SNP. Not for our party. Our party's business is Scotland, and our powerhouse is in Edinburgh. And Stephen just found out that this isn't playing about in Westminster where you can just have a wee vote amongst yourself and have a hostile takeover. You've got a whole party mechanism and machinery to come up against. And his first hurdle was Audrey. And she's no fucking going anywhere. She's going to fight for her seat. The other thing it says is two job bid. Well, Stephen could still make a bid for Holyrood. But it would mean triggering a by-election. It would also mean him putting up 12.5 grand to cover the cost of that by-election. Because that's what the party rules are. That's what Neil Gray had to put up. If you remember correctly. Neil Gray, when he wanted to come up the road because of his family situation, he got the agreement to Alex Neil to move out the road. Alex was ill anyway. And that triggered the by-election that got Aaron elected. It was Neil Gray that put the money up for that, because that's the party rules. But as I say, I am not surprised by this headline. None. That's why I've been taking a note of caution on this. So when David was enthusing about it, I'd say, hold on, David, need to change the rules. Hold on, David, the sitting MPs no want to shift. And now he's just come up against the might of the party. The actual party. The MPs in Westminster have always been a secondary consideration since devolution. The party's been structured that way. They all answer to the First Minister, including the MPs down there. That's how our party's structured. There's no Labour Party where the MPs totally ignored devolution and they run the show. There's no Tory Party or the Lib Dems where the London offices run the show. Our Edinburgh office runs the show, and the London office is a secondary consideration. And at this point in time, we only 11 MPs or something like that. It's not even a fucking consideration. And his title means nothing. Never has. Didn't it mean nothing when Ian Blackford held it? The last one who held it who had any meaning, who had any meaning for, was Alex Salmon, because he was straddling both houses. He was First Minister and an MP, and he knew that that wasn't going to work out. So that's the reason why we changed the rules in the first place. And that's why Alex stopped being an MP until he stopped being First Minister and an MSP. Right, the Scotsman has Flynn's U-turn on double job bid. And the Telegraph, I think I've got the Telegraph. The Times, is it? The Telegraph. No, it is the Times. What's about the Times? I think I've got it. It's got some interesting headlines in it today. Here we go. Let's stick this up. The Times has Trump's choice as Attorney General withdraws over teen sex allegations. And that's Matt Gaetz, or whatever his name is. He's had to step away from being the pick for Trump because of allegations of having sex with a minor. Lovely people Trump picked. Now, the main headline: Israel's leader faces arrest if he flies into Britain. And that is Starmer to back ICC against Netanyahu. But Starmer's still insisting that Israel has the right to self-defence. Maybe for an outside force, but resistance for an occupied force, an occupied territory, is legitimate. It is legitimate if you're in an occupied territory to oppose and resist against that occupation. Starmer knows what the law is. Starmer's no fucking stupid. In 2014, he represented Croatia in a genocide case against Serbia. So he knows what genocide is. And the fact that he's backing off and is now taking the side of the International Court, the Criminal Court, on the issue of these arrest warrants, it'll probably surprise Netanyahu, but it doesn't surprise me. And the third headline in the Times is the one to worry us all. Missile strike makes UK a valid target, Putin warns. So Putin has been watching the press, and the boasting about Ukraine using UK missiles has just put a big fucking target on our backs. Yeah, couldn't make it up. Now, what's the Telegraph quote for this morning? The Telegraph, Starmer supports arrest of Netanyahu. And the most interesting headline in the Telegraph this morning, folks. Oh, thanks, Alistair. Nearly missed that there. The most interesting. Alistair, don't you leave yourself skint, sir? Because you seem to be throwing a hell of a lot into the pot. You're a very generous man. Anyway, the interesting headline in the Telegraph this morning is that benefit claims will increase by 250,000 a year by 2030. I know, I was giving that some thought, and I thought, aye, well, if you're going to class a state pension that people have contributed to and saved for all their life as a benefit, then I suppose you're fucking right. Apart from that, I would say that figure was nonsense. But as a state pension isn't actually a pension, it's something we'll contribute to in the expectation of getting back some of, I'm sure that figure would be less than half of that if you took the fact that state pensions isn't a benefit as it's being called, it's an entitlement. You contribute to it in order to get back. Same as I do with my private pension. I put X amount a month in, expecting a return at the end of that term. Right, the National has What Now Kia? What now Kia? And that is a good question. What now Kia? Where do you hide? How do you continue to deny it's a war crime? And how do you justify continued arms sales to Israel? Because apparently he's not going to stop sending them arms. Yep, he's agreed to arrest Netanyahu if he gets here. Turn him out of the Hague. But that means nothing. That's him just telling Netanyahu, don't come here now till things settle down. Right. The record has Vlad's threat to use new missile. Putin UK is in the war now. Thanks, Dale. Thank you very much. Now, folks, this is a worrying headline. As we know, we don't have a viable defence on these islands. If Putin decides to launch a couple of missiles, you can bet your ass one out of two of them will get through. You can bet it. You know, and I'm only talking about 2 missiles. We don't have an air defence. In fact, and the direction that a missile will come in, we've just drafted the Germans in. to defend that airspace. Let's hope they bring missile defence systems with them to shoot things out the sky, because we ain't got it. Right, the Herald the Eye has UK and France to stand firm against Putin. Lammy vows. Just as well get the French to hide behind any. And the Herald has 2.8 billion. 2.8 billion tax and wage rise could see care firms fold. So this is the latest sector come out and tell us that Rachel Reeves' budget is an economy killer. Rising the minimum wage, rising employers' national insurance contributions, and a rise in tax against your employer's contributions to your pension funds, your workplace pension. It's going to cost the care sector 2.8 billion, and they say they don't have that sort of cash lying about. And I believe them. I also believe the hospitality industry. I believe the retail sector. In fact, I believe all the sectors that have come out and said this is going to kill us. Because the backbone of the UK economy and this ever declining market is small to medium sized businesses. It's no multinationals, which this tax won't really bother very much. They'll be able to pass the cost on and carry on. But your local fabrication shop with 100 employees, or let's say the size of business I work in, is that business going to be able to absorb that? I don't know. Fortunately, I'm in the position if my boss decides he can't keep me anymore, I'll just retire. This budget wasn't the right thing to do. The right thing to do was to change the way the tax system works. Share the burden right across the board the way we do here in Scotland. Instead of 3 tax bands, introduce 6. Equalise capital gains with income tax. There was lots of ways to do this. Lots of ways. How she went about it was right for this particular type of economy. Right, where were we? Right, the Sun has petition. The Sun's got a crime story. A petition murder claim. Young mum knifed 45 times by spurned pal. I guess that spurned pal, who apparently was in a coke fueled rage after being spurned. I guess this pal tried to become a wee bit more than a pal and get dealt. Nope. And didn't take it well because he was facing drugs. What we don't know is if was the young lady out facing drugs or not. Because the headline is young mum knifed 45 times by spurned pal, who was obviously on coke according to this. So what was she doing with him at the time? Was she participating? Right, the Metro says poison shots killed 5 tourists in Laos. Brit's lawyer dies from methanol drink. There you go, folks. When you go to Laos, you better be careful what you're drinking. Apparently producing bootleg out there and putting methanol on it. So, interesting headlines. Putin has now made it clear that if the UK don't behave themselves, he's going to blow it off the face of the fucking air. And Stephen Flynn has just learned a lesson that other MPs have had to learn in the past. And that is the SNP doesn't look at Westminster the way the Labour Party and the Tory Party and The Lib Dems Day. The MPs we have down there are our secondary set of politicians. In fact, if you remember right, folks, Alec didn't even allow the cream of the crop to go fucking down there. The cream of the crop are all sitting in Westminster. Don't get me wrong, that crop's getting on a bit now. No, look, Indy. Scotland didn't get 10 billion in consequentials for HS2, and there's a reason for that. And that is because that's what they call a project of national importance. What it should say is a project of union importance, and that means that all parts of the UK contribute to the cost. So no, there's no consequentials for the devolved administration for what was being spent on HS2. I hope that answers your question. As I say, so Flynn's just learnt a big lesson. The SNP is no structured like the other parties. Our power base is in Holyrood. The cream of our crop don't go to Westminster, they go to Holyrood. And oh, by the way, Boyle, don't think you can come up this road and do a hostile takeover the way you did in Westminster. You got away with that in Westminster because none of us were paying any attention because you're fucking irrelevant. You ain't getting away with that here. He had what some would say were surmountable roadblocks in his way. But there was 3 massive ones. And it would appear they weren't surmountable. First one was getting the party rules changed to allow him to do it. Second one was to get Audrey Nicholl to agree to stand aside. And the third one to it was, is John really going to let you play up like that, you pup? Is the leadership in Edinburgh really going to let you play up like that, you pup? Did you actually think you were going to play the fucking... Do you think you were calling the tune, you pup? No, I like Stephen. I think he's got a future. Now, the fact that he's not going to make a bid for 2 jobs doesn't mean that he couldn't cough the money up, have hustings in his community, and have his local constituency choose to replace him. Choose to replace Audrey Nicholl with him. But that wasn't the only obstacle on his road. Now that's it for this week. Let's hope we're still here on Monday and Putin hasn't blown our arse off the face of the earth. And let's hope that Stephen takes this with a degree of humility that he needs to take it in. Because he's just learnt a lesson. And that is, you can fuck about in Westminster all you want. The party doesn't care. You want to come and fuck about in Holyrood where the power base is? You better be ready for a fight. You go to that fight. And as I say, that's why when David was enthused about this move, I was talking about obstacles in his way. And when he was talking about kicking in the doors of Holyrood and clearing the place out, I was like, aye, sure, David. You might make it up this road. And the key word was might. You might make it up this road, but he's kicking fuck all in. You guys, I'll see you on Monday morning, 10:30. Don't be late. Look after each other. Thanks for your contributions today to the Food Bank Fund. Have a good weekend. Thanks to the moderators for moderating. 10:30, Monday morning. Don't be late, or it's a naughty step.